What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. With this video, we're getting into something new. We're jumping into Batman Beyond Neo Year issue number 1. Coming out of the events of Batman Urban Legends issue number 7, there is a mini story in there where it tells us that Gotham comes to life. And when it does, it murders Bruce Wayne, giving Terry the opportunity to leave the city. He refuses, believing that he needs to take up the mantle of Batman, that he has to be this city's protector. Neo-Gotham will do anything it can to put a stop to it. The writers for this are Collin and Jackson Lanzing. The artist is Max Dunbar, and the colors are by Sebastian Chang. Be sure to buy the comics, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we jump into Terry's year 1 as Batman, right off the bat, what we get is a little bit of narration from Neo-Gotham, now becoming sentient. It was 2 months ago when it became awake. In the first 5 minutes, it killed Bruce Wayne. By midnight, it controlled its own streets, its own markets, its own people. Neo-Gotham became alive, and no one knew anything. That is, except for one person, and that, of course, is Batman. Even with the death of Bruce Wayne, Terry knows that he needs to hold up the mantle. He needs to do what needs to be done. The only issue, he has to go analog. Everything is connected in this city, and so he is working in the shadows on a very low budget, not having any resources. This is sounding very similar to what's been going on with Bruce Wayne in his current storylines. From day 1 to day 60, it was non-stop crime fighting. From preventing murders to burglaries, he is out there doing everything he can while avoiding Neo-Gotham. And right now, Terry is truly feeling like he is failing this city. The only thing he is doing is keeping the legacy of Batman alive. But in 60 days, the Vultures took everything else. After the death of Bruce Wayne, Wayne Enterprises needed a new CEO, and the one that was chosen, Donovan Loomis, a former crime lord of what's left of Bloodhaven, but the papers call him the holographic man. And tonight is the first of 3 galas that he is referring to as the Trinity Galas. This is product presentation for the new Wayne Powers Enterprise. With Bruce Wayne dead and a supervillain running all of these parties, throwing them in his name, Terry knows deep down that this is Gotham. This is the manipulations of a sentient city. Being able to sneak his way in, he hears this presentation, and Loomis has been working hard on innovations in hard-like holographics. This is the pitch that he gives to everybody, letting him know that he is the next innovator for this company, that he is going to be taking them to the next level. And Terry's not usually one for hating people, but for Loomis, he makes a very big exception. Getting up close and personal, he is able to plant a bug onto Loomis. Being able to eavesdrop on the conversation, what he hears are pharmaceuticals are going to be coming in. Using the now Wayne Powers Enterprise, this is how he is manipulating the system and bringing these drugs into the city. With Terry wanting to get a little bit of more information, this is where he goes to one of the greatest detectives this city has ever seen. That, of course, is Commissioner Gordon, coming to Barbara with the information that he now carries. She tells him to turn this over, but he refuses to because he's not asking for permission. He's gonna go do this on his own. Of course, Barbara knows this isn't true, or he would have said nothing about it. The truth is that Terry, he very much respects her and what she says. And what Barbara Gordon and Bruce Wayne built GCPD into, it may be a little tough, there may be some scumbags inside the precinct, but the truth is, GCPD truly has brought some law and order into this city. This is her life's work, and now she is ready to retire, telling him that she has had far too many murders, far too many cases, and she is ready to call it a day. This city is far safer than it has ever been, and she's ready to hang up the guns. With Barbara calling it a night, Terry makes his way to the port. With their super bulk transport coming in, this is how they have been transporting all of these drugs, marking all of the containers that contain pharmaceuticals. We see Batman throw some batarangs and detonate all of them. From behind Batman, we see something that we haven't seen before. An individual that is not registering at all for the rogue gallery of Batman. So Terry knows that this has to be somebody new. As the two go against one another, we see Terry really testing this guy's abilities, seeing what he is capable of. We find out that this guy is the sword to Neo-Gotham, trying to let him know that the city is not his enemy. It simply wants his compliance. That the supplies he destroyed, they would have been distributed all over. Doing this in an attempt to try to really grow the reach of the city. And while this may slow the city down, it lets Batman know that this is all inevitable. As we see a giant, tremendous blast of energy, Batman finds himself flying backwards, thinking to himself, swearing to Bruce that he will endure, that he will keep fighting no matter what the cost. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I think that this is a very good issue number 1. We're getting to see Terry without Batman, without resources. This is truly a year 1 Terry. He is finally having to feel the shoes of Batman, to take over that mantle and really try to save this city. I've always loved the idea of the sentient Gotham, the city that comes to life. And we've gotten teased with this idea throughout DC Comics, more specifically during Dark Knight's death metal. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about the idea of Batman being killed, the change of origins, the retcons that they made in the Batman Urban Legends issue number 7 mini-story, but if you didn't check that out, it's really not a big deal, because this really is the picking up spot. It gives you enough detail, it lets you understand what's going on, and so I'm excited to see where it goes. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to support the channel, you can always donate by hitting the super thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. If you can't do that, do me a favor, hit that sub button, make sure you ring that notification bell, like this video, and until the next breakdown.